Hey, 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 all you witches and werewolves, demons, devils, and drow, and welcome back to TOMTalks. As always, I'm your host, Heath Parker, aka Titanium Mike, the toughest goddamn Vesk anyone's ever seen. The gang's all here for Book 2's wrap-up, but before we go any further, Happy Halloween, everybody!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Yeah, happy Spooky Day. That's right, the dedicated crew here at STF are recording for your listening pleasure on the spookiest of holidays because we just love you so much, to be honest. But without further ado, I'd like to formally introduce my good friends and prison break companions, starting with the voice of the mistress of the criminal underworld and queen of the costume, Madam Nariko Zivarajni, who else but Emily Giddem Summerlin.
Yeah, hi. Sorry.
On to our resident ghost in a shell and meddler in the drift, voice of Xeno 5, John Thomas.
Hey, thank you very much.
The voice of STF's creepy, bug-eyed chameleon man, Felino Marana, our own Josh, that would work in the real world, Richards.
Hi. Oh my god, that's too perfect. It's good to be here, though.
Sweet. Part Jedi, part scoundrel, part mystic, and I would argue part zombie. Aaron, I died this one time, no big deal, Vance. Mr. Zach Evans.
Hey. Yow.
And last but not least, the architect of our agony, the devil behind the details, Adam Kelly.
Hello.
Hey, you old son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So in the spirit of Halloween, I wanted to truly frighten the listeners and half of the STF crew, and we're going to start off with another half hour of talking about fish.
All right, well, that was
I'm
fun, guys. So, see ya.
Awesome,
Bye.
dude. I've been
Wait,
wanting to talk
this was
about
We'll
great.
see you.
Wait, you
talk.
guys don't want to hear a 30-minute big black furry creature from Mars?
I don't understand the words.
I'm kidding. No, for real. Do any of you guys have big plans for tonight or this weekend, the Halloween weekend as it were? And if so, what are your costumes?
Well, I have plans, but no costume.
Lame. I'm only being adamant about this because I'm literally in costume right now.
You're
So I
the
wanted
only
to-
one of us.
Yeah, well, it was
Costume right
it was
now.
much more for you guys and to get myself in that spirit, you know. But since this is an audio format,
I mean, it's a pretty good costume.
Hey,
you know,
well,
like...
Really
the
is.
listener can't
It's
see it.
appreciated.
I am dressed up as Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, my favorite pirate assassin.
So proud of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. How about you
No,
shut your
honestly,
fucking
though,
gob?
There you go.
Honestly, it looks great. Like, I love it.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're all here. Is
Yeah.
all I can say.
We're glad to be here.
Speaking of costumes, in Book 2 we infiltrated, or at least attempted to infiltrate, the Aslanti prison on the moon of Gulta. Some of you were dressed in Aslanti disguises, while Zeno and Mike, while not in costume per se, were disguised as captives. How did you guys feel about your performance in this endeavor?
In the real world,
I thought... I wish that I would have, practiced a British accent. I've mentioned this off air a lot, but ever since we did Curse of Strahd, I can't do British anymore because it just, my brain is wired for, that Eastern European. And so I felt like my attempts to, change Oren's voice were bad. Just bad. So
Well,
there you go.
to your credit, I mean, I don't think there's anything in the source materials that say they have British accents. That's just what Adam did, you know?
No, well, I was following Adam and also Emily's lead, yeah. I think Emily nailed it, for what it's worth.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
that was good.
That was my attempt at being British, modest, kind of that thing. So I think we had a good plan. The execution was not flawless, but everybody looked good doing it. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we went in with the best plan that we as a group could come up with. We did our best, and everything said and done, nobody died. So I mean, none of
That's right,
the
nobody
party members
died.
died.
But did
Nobody
you die?
died, okay?
So the disguise checks were made in secret, if y'all remember.
Yup.
Everybody passed except for Fell.
Oh, okay.
However, Fell had the full covered armor on. So it wasn't until he spoke that came into play, which is why he had questions about your what you had to say at the front desk.
All right, that makes so much more sense now. It would have worked in the real world.
That's why it wouldn't work in the real world.
Just an interesting behind the screen there.
I honestly, I feel a lot better about that now. Like, I genuinely do.
He's been losing sleep over it, y'all. I hear about it a lot.
Just a scooch.
He's definitely been stressing it. But that's the truth behind that one.
So, I mean, the fact is, we didn't do great as far as the disguise and infiltrate our way through the whole thing. I think that's objectively true. However, I wanted to ask you guys about, how do you feel about espionage and subterfuge in TTRPGs, like, in general? Like, I find that it can be quite difficult for a whole group to engage in those kinds of activities, mostly due to two things. First, most players' general aversion to splitting the party, which is, just common sense. And second, the tendency for groups to diversify themselves into distinct roles, which usually leads to at least one person being horrible at the types of skills necessary for stealth and deception. That said,
That's me.
well, not really as bad as, I mean, yeah, you're not great at it, but I was going to say 9 times out of 10, I'm that one person who is like the worst at it. So I may have a little less insight on the topic than some of you guys, but like I said, how do you guys feel about scenarios that force you to use subterfuge, espionage, disguises, and things like that, like in this type of gaming in general?
Overall, in TTRPGs, I love it. Like, that's kind of where I like to play, but as a group, it is very difficult.
Oh, exceedingly difficult.
You're trying to fabricate a story within a story, like, immediately, and hope that your other cohorts jump on board with said story. And I think that was kind of what we ran into a few times throughout the moon. So I love it, but it's very difficult when you have more than one person, one brain doing it.
Yeah, I agree with Emily. Like, I personally love doing, like, video games in particular that deal with that type of situation, like the Metal Gear Solid series or Deus Ex. Like, in any type of open world type thing, video game rather, that I play, I tend to go for the sneaky, stealthy, non-lethal, talk your way out of stuff route. And currently, in 2 of the games that I'm playing in, or 2 tabletop role-playing games I'm playing a rogue. So, it is the de facto sneaky class. And, it's honestly something I love, and didn't really work out for me this time because I'm not playing that, I guess. But even more so, as a group, it's difficult.
Well, yeah, I think something that's kind of different about this particular scenario, as far as an espionage type situation, is that this wasn't necessarily you trying to sneak in. So there wasn't a lot of stealth rolls, right? It was much more a deception based thing, which is certainly a way of being sneaky, but it's different than your typical try to sneak through a fortress type situation.
It requires a little bit more thinking on your feet.
More
having to
a more charismatic approach, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was going to say silver tongue, but yeah, a more charismatic approach.
Well, and not only does it benefit from charisma as a stat, but it also comes down a lot of the time in this situation to a particular skill check, which is bluff. And like, for instance, Mike may not be the most charismatic person in the world. He's horrible at bluff, but really good at intimidate, which is an associated charisma skill. But like that, it really plays up the importance of how one skill can affect like an entire scenario, or in this case, an entire book. So, speaking of Josh's tendency to play rogues, that's one thing I've always found a little problematic about rogue and roguelike characters is that they seem to operate best on their own, but the common knowledge or common, assumption is that you don't want to split the party anytime you can avoid it. So like that's one reason I've always like had little to no interest in playing roguelike characters, because there seems to be a discrepancy there between like the situations you would excel in and the situations you will actually be involved with.
Yeah, and that's something that in the Curse of Strahd campaign that's been a bit of like a point of contention with the rest of the group. In playing a rogue, like it does work best going on your own, at times.
I think that if you have a rogue, you should be pleased and thankful to have a rogue in your party, because then you have a scout. I think what it comes down to is
and can pick
players
locks.
Players not wanting to like not be involved in everything that's happening. You know what I mean? And so it comes down to this like, oh, there's this person's getting to go do something fun and my character can't do anything with it. I don't like it. But if you change your perspective there, I mean, a rogue can be very helpful for you. You can scout information, can help you get a better lay of what you're going into before you go in there. And then as far as tactical control goes, rogues are just about being very aware of the battle map.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's always about getting in position, flanking, all that stuff. It's not like you have to be invisible or stealth or hidden to get your rogue stuff off. But if you're not those things, you certainly have to be in advantageous position.
No, absolutely. Rogues are all about positioning. To that note, Adam, there was a specific situation where my rogue and a ranger, another player in the party, did split off while some other stuff was happening again in the Curse campaign, and scouted out a location, the next place we knew we were going, and had the means and the abilities to actually get a solid lay of the land before the rest of the party went there, and did it in a safe manner. So like being able to scout out like that's amazing.
It can certainly be helpful. I don't know if having an operative in this case would have helped you too much as far as scouting, but I think would have helped you out a lot with being a little bit more savvy with doing some of the things you were doing in the prison. A little bit more stealthy, I suppose. I don't know if an operative would have helped y'all out or not,
I mean, it might have helped us be less conspicuous.
Well, that very much depends on like how the operative is built, because I really feel like operative is one of the more diverse classes as far as the things you can do with it. The many different paths you can take as an operative. So, it being Halloween, I couldn't help but think about monsters and exciting and potentially frightening creatures in this book, despite being heavily focused on the entirely human Aslanti Empire. Didn't disappoint as far as those kind of exotic creatures or races. First in Outpost Z, and then once we got further into the prison and were trying to free the people we were assigned to free. Now, calling them monsters may not be entirely fair, but what were you guys' favorite new or interesting aliens or alien races in book 2 between Outpost Z, the prison?
It's easily, like, there's no question. I mean, you all know exactly what I'm going to say. Half red. Like a cuttlefish surrounded in like a ball or an orb of liquid that communicates purely through emoji. Like, come on. That's so incredibly outlandish, so ridiculous that of course Fel has to go on a date with her.
What about you, Zach?
Bright, crackle, flicker, dim, for sure, easily. Even though I hate spiders.
Yep.
He was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was a little surprised by that response, because he's a spider and you so adamantly hate spiders.
Yeah, but he's fucking hilarious though, man. I mean, it's just so funny. that, and because when you actually think about it, what actually happened is Hashachir is, translating the spider's like glowing crystal pulses, Morse code type thing, and this disgusting looking crustacean type guy is, the Zardot's an Aslanti, and the Aslanti is, it's just like hilarious, love it.
What about you, John?
I'd have to actually piggyback with Zach on this as far as the spider pirates. I think they are most unique to encounter, and plus Adam's delivery of it actually turned out.
Yeah,
to be really great, really
kudos.
solid.
Adam's delivery on that really sold it.
Emily,
As far as what race I liked, I suck. What was Talmarin's? What is she?
Gossclaw.
So I would like to play one of those maybe one day. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like little weasel lady. That's cool. But as like most outlandish, like what the fuck, the little chicka mouse were just like so
Little chicken
weird
mouse,
to
yeah.
me. Like,
Can't remember what they're called. Do you remember, Adam?
Yeah, Screedreet.
Screedreet, yeah.
no, they're called chicka mouse. So there's that.
Adam. I mean, you.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot. I was like reading through this book and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to play all of these
And make noises.
aliens, and figure it out. It turned out to be a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun doing it. I think my favorite one is Talmarin, just because I enjoyed those conversations, but I mean, it's also the one that was least fun to do, if that makes any sense. I really liked Talmarin as a character, but it was my least favorite one to voice.
I loved it, but it was awful.
To be fair, that's because you're a shitty Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
To be
who knew?
fair, she was shitty Shakespearean speaker.
To be fair, I wrote that in so I didn't look as bad. Yeah, but no, I mean, all of them were so much fun to just get weird with.
Well, I'm glad we got to, being that, as I mentioned, the Aslanti are so definitively human. They're all human. I mean, they're the shittiest of humans. They wouldn't agree with that. But it's nice to balance that with, if we're going to be doing a prison break that every enemy is a human, then it's cool to have that weirdness on the fringes kind of thing. You want to know what my favorite was?
Of course.
Yeah, please.
So I'm going to have to defer to Adam again for the name. What was the blue creature that, to use fantasy football parlance, trade raped me?
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Can we not use that parlance?
That's a term in fantasy football. If you get screwed over on a trade.
so
Like that fantasy.
But you didn't, though. You kept your trident and your guns.
You got the best deal out of it.
He tried, but what
You
was
got the
that?
best deal out of that. The name of the creature is a Paralith. I don't know if he has a proper name, but the creature type, it's a Paralith. It's a really interesting creature. He's got a really cool stat block, but I thought it was more fun for you to interact with him than fight him.
Yeah. Well, and I was trying to avoid that as much as I could. I just thought he was delightful because he reminded me a little bit of Blue from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, sure.
But I liked him, and I liked. It's not that exotic of a creature, but the Akeshti, being in its crazed state, was really interesting.
Rager form or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rivener.
That's
Rivener.
it.
That's
the
right.
one.
Yeah, and it sucks because the Aslanti forced that upon them, knowing it.
I think it's really important to kind of look at how so many of these races looked monstrous, but the biggest monsters were the Aslanti.
I was wondering who was going to go there,
Yes.
but I mean, you're right. Though.
Did you really have to wonder?
I know. I'm so
mean-
glad you made the point, so I didn't have to. You know.
I'm always there.
Well,
for
I mean,
you.
look at Grub. Grub was such a good soul, and we couldn't
But he was a
directly
little
speak to
handsy,
it.
okay?
He was a little
Well,
handsy.
that's how it communicated. That's
It's
fine.
just a difference in cultures, man. Like he didn't know. He didn't know. That's how he speaks.
Well, I will say we're gonna get to a little bit of Grub stuff later.
Oh yeah.
But quickly, I was gonna ask Adam, how long would you say book 1 took as far as like in-game time?
As far as the time you spent on Nacondas, I'd say I think it was 3 days. No, it was 5 days total. Because 3 days doing the adventure, and then you hung around for 2 days waiting for your ship to upgrade and help kind of rebuild and all that in Weldy's party. So that was all 5 days.
Yeah. So much like Halloween, the prison itself was only a few hours of in-canon time, right?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah,
one scary night or one scary day, you know? And I think that's what made the prison particularly scary, is knowing that you're so limited time-wise and that there won't be any opportunities to rest. You know, like... I mean, like, this was the book of anxiety.
Sure. And it was like really a test of attrition, right? Of like, there is no place for you to get any of your stuff back. You have to work with what you got, and that's all you got, you know? And you guys were up against it. I mean, it came out in the arc. I mean, you guys spent every spell slot you had. 3 of you were down to like minimal HP or 0 HP. You know, like everything was spent.
Well, 3 of us got straight
Phil
up
had
knocked out.
plenty of resolve points left, but
Yeah.
you know.
So many resolve points. All the resolve points.
Well, the resolve points though are I mean, I don't know if I'm putting the cart before the horse here, Heath, but I think like it's pretty clear that those resolve points make it very difficult to actually die. You know what I mean? Like if you think about the way the mechanics of them work, you know, like it's as long as you have them, you're gonna be okay. Well, I mean, and I think that was really that resolve system was obviously really put to the strain in the final sequence. But I mean, what do y'all think about that? About the resolve system?
Well, with the resolve system, I would have to say that it's great for the lower levels, but whenever you get higher level, then it starts to actually taking away half of your resolve points. And we were just too low of a level for that to actually take effect, you know, in this scenario.
Yeah, I guess more go.
So it would be more
you have
harrowing.
to have more to be able to do that.
Well, I
Right,
think personally, that's a good thing because I feel like
absolutely.
just from, you know, our interactions with the Discord, there's been kind of this notion that it's impossible to die in Starfinder, you know? And I don't think that's fair necessarily, but I understand that is based on the resolve system, that if you have bonus resolve points, you're not going to die. You're going to be able to get back in it. But that's one thing I liked so much about particularly the ending of this book is that you did push many of us to the limit and force us to use a lot of those resolve points, and that's when it does get dangerous, and it does get to a point that someone could die at any moment, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
realistically, if we would have gone one more round, I mean, Ziva would have died. That just did.
That's very true.
Ziva,
Yeah, 'cause you got
Zeno, the
tapped
Z
out of
Squad would
resolve,
have been
too.
gowned.
She did.
yeah, the whole Z Squad for sure.
I think it's a lot of people are going to take away how close to death Zeno was in that, right? Because I obviously was putting the heat on Zeno, you know, shooting him while he was down and all those things. But Ziva was just in the same situation. It just was in the last throes, but she got brought down to the same, you know, situation just for being involved in the activities, you know.
Yeah, it just wasn't as dramatic, you know? She wasn't getting drugged
Which is
across.
surprising
No,
considering,
I think it was dramatic.
you know, it's Ziva.
I mean,
It was
well,
just as dramatic. It just wasn't quite
It
as
wasn't
theatrical.
as prolonged. Her danger wasn't as prolonged
That's true.
as Xeno's was. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Xeno's went stretched out a couple of episodes.
Well, that's true as well. But also, like, Ziva, everything that she was doing was kind of happening in the background of Fel and Xeno's attempt to leave. But she wrapped around and was engaged in one-person war against the robots that were blocking your exit. You know what I'm saying? But like all that stuff happened pretty quickly. We didn't have any questions we didn't have to like go to the rules about anything that happened on her turn. And like all of a sudden she was like close to down. And then when we got to the end and we got to the ramp, it was like, oh shit, like she's in bad shape and we didn't even realize it, because we've been so focused on everything else happening. It was this interesting kind of side story that exploded at the end,
That's kind of what I mean by that it wasn't as dramatic, is that, you have this epic scene that we referenced, the movie Hacksaw Ridge like 3 times, in that Fel is dragging Xeno's lifeless or unconscious body for all this time while he's being shot at. I mean, that's an incredibly dramatic and prolonged scene that occurred. That's not to take away from the danger that Ziva was in, but hers was a lot
absolutely
quicker, Like, I mean, it just happened all of a sudden.
I think that somebody said it wasn't as dramatic, or it was as dramatic, but it wasn't as theatrical. I think that's perfect. Like, because, Hacksaw Ridge, man, doing it up. And I'll say this while we're on this kind of subject, as terrified as I was that Ziva was not going to make it, I would have been very happy if she went down like that. Like, it would have been okay-ish. Yes, an honorable
in
death.
honorable
Could have been a hero's
combat.
death.
So, sticking to the kind of Halloween theme of the evening, I did a little bit of reading up on like the origins of Halloween and its evolution over time, which led me to, a few interesting observations. So, Halloween's likely oldest roots are in the Celtic festival of Samhain. It's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. Samhain both signified the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the long and deadly winter, but according to the Celts, it was also a period of time during which the barrier between the physical world and the spiritual world became sort of thin, which allowed spirits and ghosts to enter into our world. I think it's fair to say that Halloween and its predecessors have always been tied up in fear and death. So, let's talk about that rough stuff. I know this was a hard book for the Epoch Tracer crew, and I want to particularly dig into those moments that made it difficult. The moments when we were most afraid, particularly of death, which ties into what we were just talking about. But there were numerous times that we had really harrowing situations, and even before the combat at the ship, as we were trying to leave and take off, that we were legitimately concerned that somebody would go down and die. So I was gonna say, so John, how about you lead off this one?
Okay, so as far as character death, there was multiple scrapes that Xeno had in this AP, both actually the mid of AP1 and AP2, and honestly, I think me, both as a player and as a character, wasn't actually ready for the scrapes that would come by, because so Adam drove home the idea that Aslanti did not like Machine Mate, and I think in the very first time that we fought, what was the lieutenant's name? Not
Sharu.
Yeah, Lieutenant Sharu, where everybody was already like close to real low health, from the electro trap in the prison room.
Oh, you're talking about Olaraja.
Oh, Olaraja, that's who I'm talking about. Yeah, that was the first time that we came across like the real hatred of Aslanti towards Machine Mate. Then we move forward over to AP2, and we see several encounters where it's just like they really don't. I mean, like, let's go into discussion real quick over the fact that they crushed his eye. Then they went ahead and moved forward to where he was shot several times, down to spending resolve points over in the warden's room. Then move even further down the line where we're all doing the great escape to the ship, and also being brought down there. That right there. It was very harrowing for me. I really don't like you, Adam, for that.
I think that's what it comes down to. Is that's what Heath is asking you. Yes, all those things happened to you, John. I did all those things.
Yes.
What Heath wants to know is, how do you feel about it?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I'm trying to...
like you, Adam.
All right. I'm leading up to it.
That's the synopsis of it.
That was all the lead up to tell me you
And
don't like
in
it.
summary,
10 minutes of
Adam's
shit to get
kind of
to
a dick.
this.
So
Well, yeah. Adam is kind of a dick, but here's the thing about that, though. Let's even though that he did all those things, I do got to say that I wouldn't have another GM for it.
So that's very sweet. But in the moment, did it make you mad? Did it piss you off? In in the moment, in those multiple moments.
I wouldn't say it made me mad. No. It didn't make me mad, honestly.
Terrified, if anything. Right?
Exact-
Scared, anxious.
I kind of already knew in the back of my head that even as Xeno went down, so
Well, yeah,
I
feel
was
like
I was
part of
prepared
it
for
is
that.
Also, part of it, I think, is also that the Aslanti are just such assholes that
They are.
trying to take out the android in our party is just as much a slight to us as it is, Xeno himself, right? It's just as much about giving you the big middle finger that you would even associate with such lower life forms or whatever, right? I feel like
Well, I mean, without even realizing it, this became part of Xeno's story. As far as like this became part of the story of Xeno, as far as the resentment towards androids,
the prejudice,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something that wasn't exactly he was.
Well,
expecting.
the thing is that Xeno has managed in his years to avoid slavery as an Aslanti, and actually, as an android, and he's actually had a pretty charmed life as far as being able to go to do his research. He narrowly escaped being a slave when Mike and Irio saved him.
That would have been his first taste of it, but even then.
Yeah, but yeah, and then he's part of a successful startup company and everything like that. Yet here he is experiencing being treated like a slave regardless, just because of your makeup, And that honestly was a big part of what I was trying to drive home with the Aslanti is okay, they're space Nazis. How do I really drive this home in a universe where there's literally thousands of different races?
Right.
You know what I mean? Thousands. And so so the Aslanti think that the human are the best and they hate all races, but that just, to me, dilutes it to where it's more visceral if there's something tangible that you all can connect to. With one, Sedona's an android, and two, Xeno is an android, of their hate is specific on a deeper level for androids. They represent everything antithesis to what the Aslanti believe, because they believe that humanity, in their version of humanity, is the pinnacle of all existence. And here is this machine trying to mimic.
Yeah.
It's like humans trying to mimic gods in their minds,
Yeah.
All right, so next question.
Another big part of the origin of Halloween is the remembrance of the dead. I said we were going to get back to Grubb, and we are. I'd feel terrible if I didn't bring him up. And of course, also, my boy Chaz. May he rest in peace. That's more comment than question, but if, Grubb ended up playing a pivotal role in our escape, as did, to some degree, Chaz, the little Pokemon that I had. He killed one of the encroaching Aslanti guards, so it kind of.
Well, he was certainly some much needed levity in 2 hours of stress, 3 hours of total stress. Having Chaz there to kind of at least be At least we can laugh. At least we can laugh as players for a second. You know, like I thought
right.
that was a nice add-in for him
I just
too.
want to set this straight, John. What was the name that you had proposed for the fire element? Pyrantula. Guys, let's stop for 1 second and consider the fact that this is clearly the better name for the Pokemon. Pyrantula? Are you kidding me? That is fucking solid.
You're right and you're wrong at the same time. If we're talking about Pokemon, that would be the type of Pokemon he is, but you can nickname your Pokemon. Chaz is the owner's name for the Pokemon.
I'll give it to you on a technicality, man, but Pyrantula. I just think Pyrantula is solid. It's a solid name.
I'll give you that. You're right. He's a Pyrantula named Chaz.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyways,
that's fine.
Yeah, so
Rip
Grub,
Grub, dude, big F.
I think Grub also served that purpose of levity at first. When we first met him with his like whole putting his tentacle in Ziva's mouth. Again, fuck you guys for making names so similar.
I tried, Heath.
But it's fine. But he did serve as a source of levity at first, but he ended up being a surprisingly meaningful and memorable temporary, partner of the crew kind of thing.
Yeah, it just shook out that way, I honestly think what it came down to is that Adam was trying to help us in any way that he could.
Sure.
Despite him trying to murder us at the same time. And I think Grub just happened to be the big meaty boy that took that bullet.
If you think about it, so what we knew about Grub was he was telepathic. Is that correct, Adam? Like he only communicated.
Kind of, yeah,
yes.
He was like
touchopathic.
Touchopathic, yeah, that's a term. And in my mind, he was sensing all of the stress and duress and like the absolute angst and anguish, and he was like, I'm gonna help my saviors any way I can. This one's for you, Big Mike. And he strode out there like a boss. That's what I think.
I mean,
that's a good
save me from taking a bullet.
What do y'all think? What does everybody think that was Grub's last? Why do y'all think that Grub made that decision in story? Like, I mean, Zach probably pretty close to hitting.
I think I'm
as far
pretty
as
close.
The meta,
Yeah, I'm pretty close.
but narratively,
in fiction,
narratively,
yeah, like what reason do you think Grub did that?
Well, I think that race may be potentially just generally kind-hearted. The alien type that it was just, used to being misunderstood and wanted to not wanted to do the best that it could to, try and give some sense or some semblance of goodwill, considering, history that it may have seen.
I got a hot take.
They're empaths, is your...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Hold on. What's that hot take, Zach?
My hot take is just that he was so sick and tired of having been tortured and imprisoned by the Aslanti that he saw, here's a crew of people who have a real chance to fuck their plans up, and they have a better chance than Grub does, and he'll, you know what, fuck it. Grub's not going to launch an offensive against the Aslanti. Maybe, a soul for a soul to get at the bigger Aslanti picture.
I like that.
Referred to as suicide. So, just to spite the Aslanti.
Well, okay.
He's going to take one for the team.
Well, but an active decision to be a sacrificial lamb for a group of people that, to some degree, understand what he's going through.
Yeah. Yes.
So, speaking of remembrance, we had some pretty big deal flashbacks in this book. And, I don't want this to be an hour-long thing on this question, but did any of those flashbacks, really stick out to you guys? And more importantly, did any of them change your perceptions of the characters or even influence how you might carry on in this kind of social situation that we're in based on new knowledge?
Let me give you the list of the flashbacks so you can remember real quick. Right?
Are you consulting the great spreadsheet of episode lists?
I bow down to the spreadsheets.
I'm actually not. I'm actually looking at my campaign notes document.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I think the first one of season 2 was Michael to the cell. That was his conversation with Sedona in the jail cell. The next flashback was Ziva 2, the android. That's when she received an android and first met Sedona and talked to her in the pools. All right. Then we had Xeno 2, which was wild. That's all the flashes. That was like the series of flashes. And we have Orin 3, the connection. And this was a few days after Sedona found him drifting in space in their conversation. Oh, I don't have Fell's on here because you have that. We don't have. I don't have a script for that. But then there was Fell's conversation with Sedona. That was actually the first one. Yeah, when she hired him to be the mechanic.
His whole thing with the robotic bartender.
There's Sedona's. Was the last one of this season was Sedona's, and it was like basically her whole lead up to writing the letter to bring you guys on this mission.
Real quick, so with Fells, when y'all finished that one, do y'all remember when John come out of the flashback and the first thing that was said, John, fucking machines, huh?
Yeah.
So I had a shower thought the other day about that specifically. I was legitimately woke up super early in the morning because I got to be at work way too early, earlier than anybody reasonably should be, and taking a shower, and I was just like, oh my god, there's that time that John does. And it, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see you, man. We'll see you.
No, listen, I don't think that you should. I don't think you should be ashamed of that feeling.
No, of course
Josh. Not. Because for one, obviously it's directed towards
automated
non-sentient machines.
Yeah.
Automated bots, right? Yeah. And you lost your job. You lost your job, which was for you, and we haven't really got into a lot of Fel, but being somebody who maintains things, being a mechanic and being somebody who can improve and make sure that everything is working properly is a big deal to Fel, and to just get replaced by some non-thinking, non-caring, process machine. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid using that word, but that was a real feeling for Fel, and I don't want that to get lost or negated. That's a big part of who Fel is, and it's not something he should feel ashamed of. It's might be confusing, and it might be give him some pause when he's thinking about all this hate for androids, surely. But I think you, Josh, should not feel bad about that.
Look, dude, actions speak louder than words, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Failed.
Yeah, exactly. You carried me
through a minefield.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if Fel is pissed about whatever years ago. Nobody gives a fuck. He obviously cares about his fucking friend Xeno.
It's a beautiful moment when you go and consider.
All right, Heath, get us back.
No. We're still talking about characters, flashbacks that change your perceptions of the characters, and we are absolutely not leaving before I get to talk about Ziva's flashback.
Zach is correct.
Yeah. So that, I think, Ziva's flashback and getting the full scope of the kind of activities that she's willing to engage in to protect her business and protect her employees, that colored my opinion of Ziva a lot. And it's not, I know Emily probably thinks that it's in a bad way, that I think that Ziva is a bad person, but I don't. I just think that Ziva's a fucking Don, dude. She's fucking Corleone or Scarface, dude, or something Tony Montana, bro. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think she's quite Scarface level. I do think she's much more reserved, and Don Corleone is probably a better comparison.
She's Don Ziva Rajni,
There you go.
She's like George Jung, you know. She's a total badass. But like, for me, it was like, of course, it makes more sense that way that this woman who's done these sorts of like underworld things, not, you know, I'm not saying like got down in the mud, but like. She's
not afraid to get her hands
cut off and handed to her on the reg. It's not a thing.
She's engaged in underworld.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, well, we can't. Yeah.
That she would have the confidence to be like, okay, well, yeah, I'll load up and we'll go out to this remote planet and fuck shit up. That's fine, you know. And of course, the reality sinks in.
To use your metaphor, I think she definitely has gotten down in the mud, but I don't think it's a malicious thing. You know? Well, I mean, it's not an entirely malicious thing. It's malicious against those who have wronged her and hers.
Yes. It's not malicious for the
it's
sake
unscrupulous.
of malice.
That's a great word right there. She's unscrupulous. Fantastic.
Emily, do they have your character right? Do they have it all pinned?
I guess we'll find out. But no, yeah, Ziva. No, I mean,
that's a bullshit
Adam and I
answer.
worked on. Adam and I worked on that flashback and kind of like got it spliced where we wanted it to be to kind of give kind of what you said, Zach, color her a little bit more. And you guys have exactly as much of Ziva as I'm ready to give you right now. But you'll have to pay
I love
for
the
more.
drama with Ziva.
But while
Slick.
while we're talking about that, can we talk about motherfucking murderer ass Zeno? Like,
Yeah.
who is this dude?
Straight up.
He's just like ganking folks in alleys. Like, oh well, I'll
Killing
take care of
bookies.
this. She
Just letting his best friend fall under that bus and get literally charged with murder. Just saying. That happened. John?
It did happen. It actually did happen.
and I think
Was it a mercy kill?
Okay, man. All right, I'm just going to level with you. So, as far as a mercy kill, this motherfucker was about to draw something on his homeboy, Mike. All right? Now, that being said, I don't want to fuck him. I'm not going to let him do that. He's not going to shoot my boy in the back. It's just not going to fucking happen.
And I think that's the deciding factor. It's like he may not have killed him if he was just pathetic and beaten and blinded and probably had 9 or 10 facial bone fractures. But then, despite that, he tried to attack Mike. So it's like, all right, we got to end this. And I like that a lot more because I was.
So it wasn't a mercy kill at all.
I don't think it was a mercy kill. I think it was a defensive kill.
Okay. Yeah, right. Right.
Granted, it's not my
Couldn't
scene.
take his ass beaten and walk on, huh?
He tried to pull a gun on a fist fight, you know.
Well, I mean, there was a bit of a humane side of it, I guess, to a point. Because
This fight with Mike isn't fair, dude.
No, it really isn't. You know.
It's not.
His whole facial cavity was destroyed. Come on, dude. Like,
No, there is a cavity there now.
Don't start a fight with titanium fucking Mike. Are you kidding me?
didn't Mike start the fight?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I've said numerous times I was accosted.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
There were also other flashes in that flashback too. Although that was a big reveal.
Yes, there were. With Zeno signaling out the signal. I mean, I assume that this is some kind of foreshadowing for our next adventure path. Is just what I assume.
I'm in agreement with that.
We did find out about some of the unethical practices that Zeno was involved with. There was a soldier who was injected with a bunch of nanobots.
Yup.
Cool.
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Just saying, he wasn't always on the squeaky
Here's the
clean
thing.
level, you know?
No.
Well, he was just always studying. You know, like.
Got to get that funding.
You know who else was always studying? Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure where you were going with that.
That's where I went.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Nazis.
The Nazis.
What were you saying, Emily?
For some reason, I just assumed that Zeno never has any ill intent. There's no malice whatsoever. It is just purely just like, well, that's interesting. Like,
Subjective science.
completely
Yeah.
subjective.
Practical. It's not
Very pragmatic and withdrawn.
So I
You
like
mean objective science?
Yeah,
that
you're
was a
right. It
test.
would be
Good job,
objective science.
Zach.
You're right. My bad.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you're right. Objective science.
But yeah, no. So I don't even think it's like bad. It's just it's fine.
I think we can collectively as a group say,
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think you're wrong, but I don't. There's really not a whole lot that can be said about it, so I don't want to dwell on it too much. It's just that for sure you definitely got a couple peeks at what Zeno's been a part of, one way or the other. You know, that purple light being something that's kind of permeating through the universe too. You know,
Exactly. It sets some things up, and at the same time, it shows that Zeno's not quite squeaky clean.
right?
so,
Well, that's a lot of. We did a lot of flashbacks.
yeah. Well, there were a lot of them, you know? I mean, like, that's necessarily a long conversation.
Yep.
So, I mentioned that the Festival of Samhain, the Celtic festival, was a pagan festival celebrating the end of the harvest and the onset of winter. Perhaps it's my own paranoia or just my metaphorical sensibilities, but I can't help but see a correlation between Book 1, wherein we pretty much crushed it and harvested Aslanti nonstop, and Book 2, which perhaps began our winter, our time of hardship. But then, my immediate thought after that was that Book 2 might just be autumn, and now going into the unknown of Book 3, we may be entering our winter proper. What I'm saying
Of discontent.
Yeah. Nice. What I'm saying is, I'm really worried Book 3 is going to be even harder than Book 2, meaning some of us are going to fucking die. Adam excluded. Or actually, nah. Feel free to jump in on this one. Are my fears unfounded? Do you guys have similar concerns?
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Nah, we passed
Adam?
that Starfinder hump, man. We're invincible now.
Nope.
We got to give credit to Commodore for that one, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Commodore on the Discord.
All right. So Adam, our benevolent,
Not anymore.
quote, air quotes,
Yeah.
benevolent GM.
Ambivalent.
Sure.
Definitely not ambivalent either.
Are
Ambiguous.
capricious.
Malevolent. Yeah,
There we
Our
go.
malevolent
capricious.
GM
There we go. Yeah, capricious. Perfect.
did the best that he could to kill Zeno. Shot him literally while he was down.
Several
I'm
times.
terrified. I am personally fucking terrified because, I mean, Fell really didn't take the brunt of much of anything at Golta. So I kind of feel like old blood is going to come back and Adam is really, truly going to come bring it back around to me, both Josh as a player and Fell as a character, and try and kill him, like, hard. But Adam, you didn't hear any of that, and I hope that doesn't happen.
To piggyback on that, actually, I think it's actually going to be coming back around to Zeno, because we've seen that in Book 1. We've also seen it in Book 2. And we're going to
There's a
see a
pattern here,
vengeance in Book 3.
Adam himself is actually just.
I mean,
racist
we are
against
going to the
androids.
heart of the motherfucking throne, dealing with goddamn Aslanti, and we're bringing in a fucking android. You know, he has shown time and time again that the Aslanti do not like androids.
Just get Zeno to borrow Mike's hat of disguise and wear
No,
that.
yeah, hat of
whole
disguise, and maybe like some of like Ziva's makeup. You know,
You can have it.
just like, yeah, I am a fully functioning human.
I enjoy doing human things.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow
Hi there,
humans.
fellow kids. Yeah, right.
Human music. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 beep, boop.
Okay.
Anybody else got
Okay.
opinions on that topic?
Folks, I will do my best to keep everyone alive going through book 3. I don't want anybody to die. Do you guys want to make a Deadpool on the Discord or something, like who you think is most likely to die?
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be deadly. I don't. Like, honestly,
Are we too strong,
I mean-
or is it just not as much of a challenge for us?
I have a take, but I'll wait.
I think that it's like, I think you guys know now how powerful you are, right? For one, like, you found out to the full extent of what you can endure as a party, which is a lot. You're certainly learned from that, and you're going to gain more power as you go. And I've read through the adventure. It's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about that. But I think y'all are just going to be better players. You know what I mean? And I'm not worried about death until Signal screams. But because of that, I'm afraid that I'm going to be caught off guard. And, like, it's just going to be something random. It's going to be something totally random that's going to catch one of y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's going
screams
to be
what scares
me.
Yeah.
And, and I think I got a lot of that out of my system, too. Like, yes, there is definitely for real narrative reasons why everything was done to Xeno. For real. And
Absolutely.
Stuff that hasn't come, and stuff that hasn't even come out yet. But that being said, I'm not going to sit here and say that there wasn't some aspect of me also flexing everything I could to try to see what it would be like to actively try to kill a character, because I was given that license to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's a style of play that's hard to do. Like, I didn't particularly like attacking Xeno while he was down.
Behind the curtain,
Like,
behind the curtain, there is a bubbling hatred between me and Adam.
Wait, what?
First time hearing about that.
He's saying behind his curtain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so I don't think, what I'm saying is I don't think you have to worry about it coming from me, like, directly. You know what I mean? Like, I'll play the book like I play. I GM how I play. I'm not going to hold anything back. But at the same time, I don't think it'll be so directed this time around. You know what I mean? And that's no spoilers. We'll see how it goes out, but, like, it's just not set up the same way as book.
So, considering all that Adam said, I think, my opinion outside of the narrative of the game is that, when we first started this adventure through book 1, like, we've talked about that there was this notion of, like, players are unkillable in Starfinder. Like, it's a good system, but a system that you're not really supposed to die in or whatever. And I think Adam might have taken that to heart and taken it out on a couple of players. But I think Adam also got his fucking street cred, because all I've seen in the Discord is like, you're a real son of a bitch for the things that you've done, So, maybe there won't be that, but I'm not betting either way. I'm a betting man, but I'm just saying I don't think he's gonna have as many reasons, like he said, to target individual players other than just who's the biggest threat right now.
Heard that.
So, before we move on to listener questions, I have a question for each one of you, and that's all I'm going to do. I do a little chunk of, like, questions for the party. I'm going to target each of you individually, much like Adam did in this adventure, or this book, rather. And I want to start with Emily. What specifically about the Warden made you so incredibly mad?
It was, honestly, if I'm speaking as Ziva, it was because it was like looking in an Envoy mirror, except the mirror was more perfect than the actual subject. It was just like all the shit that Ziva was doing, or the shit that I was rolling, literal shit, just wasn't enough to do what the warden was doing, but successfully. And it was just really frustrating to see what she could have been and wasn't.
Are you saying you were a little jealous?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. She was a little jelly. Yeah.
What?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, she was hella
Scoonch
jealous.
jelly.
I was upset with Adam because, he
She
was
was so
doing a
good.
lot better than I. And, what did you say?
I said, because she was so good.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
She was so...
I mean, I was rolling really well during that fight.
Ziva
too,
and I
you
were
know.
hella salty. We were like, you need to go see the doctor. Your sodium levels are entirely too high, salty about the whole encounter.
NaCl. Up the frame.
That's it. I was jealous. That's it.
I got it. So, Fel, Josh, is there something in particular about Zeno that made you want to both place yourself between him and the dangers of the warden fight, as well as drag his limp body back to the ship? Or is Fel just a diamond in the rough and we never knew that he had the heart of a war hero?
I mean, I come out good either way, right?
I mean, really, I don't think you can
No,
think too
so
long
just
about
answer
this
the
one, dude.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like
I'd go with Heart of a
was
War Hero,
honestly,
dude.
it was a spur of the moment type thing. No, it was a spur of the moment type thing. So I guess Heart of the Warrior, like it was something that Fel didn't really know that he had in him, but in the moment, you really truly, in moments of crisis like that, you really get to know who you actually are, and in those moments, Fel, came through instead of, falling to the wayside and turning to run and leave, his companion behind, decided that it was worth like that Zeno or a friend or anything was worth potentially his own life to drag to safety, to get in between, or get in the line of fire for his friend, regardless of who it is. It was honestly just kind of a spur of the moment type thing. It was not at all planned out.
What would Grub do?
Well,
I mean, yeah, WWGD.
So that's good. That's a good joke, and I like it. But I have a follow-up question, and that is, you said, it didn't matter who it was. What if it was Mike's heavy ass?
Then Fel would have struggled his fucking damnedest without leg amputations,
Mod.
leg augmentations. He would have done his damnedest to drag Mike's heavy ass out of there.
So the answer is, he had a heart of a war hero the whole time. I set
suppose,
you up
yes.
for it. I wanted you to bank in on it because you did a fucking good job in the book. Moving on.
Well, thank you.
Zach, voice of Aeon. Considering that Aeon is not only a healer, but probably the best tactician of the party, I have a couple of questions. First, is Aeon disappointed in the Epoch Tracer crew?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I fucking knew it.
Cool.
I knew it.
Yeah. I mean,
My soul.
Is he
What-
disappointed in
what
anyone
did you
No, I expected that. Is he disappointed
think
in
so.
anyone in particular?
himself.
Oh.
Himself.
Yeah.
He let it. He let. He let it. He let
that's
his.
obviously the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He let his own temper initiate some of those conflicts. So he feels just as responsible as anyone else for any mistakes that happened. Yeah.
All right. So, second, does he consider the Epoch Tracer crew to be his friends? I would assume on backstory he's friends with Fel, but if I'm being 100% honest, I don't know where he stands as far as personal relationships, considering he's so fucking averse to engaging in them.
So I'm going to interject here real quick. Fel and Oren are workplace proximity associates at best.
Oren considers the Epoch Tracer crew his family.
Aw.
Okay, let me roll back a little bit. At the
I
start
changed my
of
mind.
this campaign,
Yeah.
we were workplace proximity associates.
Well, you walked into that one, Josh.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's that. I'm so glad for the recording session that we're having, though. So, John, my good man, I know that Zeno and Mike are inextricably linked, okay? I know Mike would have been devastated if Zeno had died, and I expressed that. Considering that Zeno is an android, and as such, emotions are kind of weird for him, if Mike had died in the prison, would Zeno have taken on the mantle of president of the APA? And if so, how would he change it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. First off, yes, he would actually assume the mantle, but I think it would be a co-partnership with him and Tefan Yi. Just because Tefan Yi is more of the presentation, whereas Zeno's more of the behind the scenes, bean counter, But yeah, I'd say, as far as changing it, I think he would want to carry on the missions over to the machine court.
To Avalon?
Yeah, and on Avalon, he would want to continue that. But I think he would probably extend that also into any kind of slavery, any kind of android slavery, almost kind of like the maybe a co-partnership with the Android Abolitionist Front.
Okay.
You know,
you'd go a little more political with the company.
Yeah.
All right. So Adam, my guy. In the book one wrap up, I asked how much we had made you hate us and why the hell you continued to agree to GM for us. This time I have a slightly different question. You ready?
Yeah, okay.
How fucking dare you? You've got a lot of nerve shooting Zeno while he's unconscious, stealing all of Mike's stamina and HP, as well as preventing Aaron from firing ship weapons on troops that would totally work in the real world to use Fell's
Totally
parlance.
work. They would totally work.
I just want to know how you live with yourself when you're kicking the shit out of us while we're trying so hard to survive. All kidding aside, what challenges did we present to you as a party, if any, and how did you overcome them? Also, for real, you're the goddamn devil.
Okay. Should we?
Shooey.
I feel like we discussed some of that already, right?
Yeah, we did.
It's fine.
But here's the thing. When I read this book, I knew it was going to be a challenge for y'all. I knew it was going to be a challenge for me too. And we've been playing for a long time as a group, and I don't know. I think that I really wanted to push you all as a party because I wanted, as I mentioned earlier, I really wanted you to see how much you could endure. 100% honest, I could not be more pleased with how this ended. I am so glad that Zeno and Ziva survived that outcome. I'm so glad that all of your characters are here. I have so much story to tell with all your characters, To me, it's creating that real sense of tension and also giving you an opportunity to see how powerful you guys are as a party and what you can do together, I think was important. I think that you all needed it as a group. We needed it as a group to flex that all the way. And so the challenge was, to answer your question, Heath, was how could I push that to the very edges without TPKing you, or in this case, total party capture. Now, I'm not talking specifically about the last 2 episodes. I'm talking about the prison in general. You guys kind of bunked it up from the get-go. And, you got through the first gate, but then in the first actual room in the prison, you picked a fight with a janitor You know, your temper got the best of you. He pulled out Zeno's eyes, and you decided to fight him instead of roll with it. And so at that point, the whole prison should have come down on you, I think. You know, like, you guys not only did that, but then got in open conflict with the guards that were watching the security tapes, you know, and the main Aeon guard that was in the front half of the prison. You should have had the prison descending on you, I think, from that point on. But I wanted to keep it going and make it fun. And so I was like, okay, well, what are some things that could happen here that they still have significant consequences for that, but they still have an opportunity to make it out of here, you know? But once we hit that point, I made a decision to myself that I was not going to let up the pressure or the heat, you know, and I was going to keep putting you in tough situations. You guys were going to have to get your way out, you know? So I don't know. I think that was my challenge, was to balance that throughout the whole thing. I think at the end, I probably was a little bloodthirsty, but as I said, there are narrative reasons, as been established and we talked about earlier, that their hatred for the androids and there's disdain for them as things that should even be existing is real, you know?
So mechanically, were there any ways in which we challenged you? Or was it just a fucking cakewalk?
Well, so I mentioned it in our interview with Eleanor, but we didn't go into detail about it. But there is a whole system called the alertness system that is going on throughout the prison. And it's this whole other set of mechanics that's just happening in the background. And there's various things that you do that adds to that level of alertness. And there's like 5 tiers of alertness, you know, a scale from like 1 to 12. You know, once you hit 12 and above, you're at like peak situation, you know. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I just want to read a couple of them, right? So open combat is an immediate +5 to your alertness. That's a +5. If you're caught in a restricted area without clearance, +2. Failure in a critical system, such as a hack, +3. Unseen noises of combat, +3. Dead or unconscious guard discovered, +4. You know, like...
That's big. It's a big deal.
It can stack up very quickly. Yeah, it can stack up very quickly. So that was kind of the mechanical challenge of this book, was keeping up with the things that you guys were throwing at me and like trying to scale it based on this chart that I had and keep everything kind of cohesive around how they were supposed to respond based on your actions. Because then there's different tiers based on the alertness levels, you know.
So... okay, my thing is, like, it seems to me in retrospect that we maybe had an ace in the hole in that regard if we had properly used the signal jammer, and every time we thought there might be a threat to the overall, like, security level, we had used the signal jammer preemptively. How much do you think we could have done better based on that sole device?
A lot.
I think a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that, honestly, had you not reacted to the janitor taking Zeno's eye out the way you did,
right,
you could have gotten all the way to the cell blocks without anything. You wouldn't have had to spend any resources on the fight with the camera crew. You wouldn't have had to worry about the prison security robots and all that stuff. Like, you could have got all the way there.
So I mean, the assumption is that you could potentially make it at least like 70 or 80% through this thing without ever raising the threat level, right?
Engaging.
No, not even if you had a
Correct,
fight,
yeah.
but you cut off communications beforehand, you still would have been probably fine in most situations, right?
Well, and see, my thought process in not using the signal jammer was that if communications were cut, that in itself would raise the alertness level. You know, that was kind of a last-ditch effort type thing. Like, if things really went off the rails, then we cut the communications so that the Aslanti can't communicate with each other, not so much to mask what we were doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of the paranoia for sure. But, like, had we been more able to use it effectively in short bursts, you know, when we needed to, I think we would have done a lot better. Like, you know, you go into a room where you may have a situation that could go south or whatever, go ahead and jam stuff for a minute and a half, take care of the situation, and then unjam it because nobody's going to communicate if there's not a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I mean, that in hindsight's 2020. You know, if I were to go through it again, then yeah, absolutely I would, you know, think or know to do that. But
okay. Yeah. I mean, again, like you said, hindsight, you know, I'm just asking. How successful could we have been had we been a little better about our instincts? So I'm gonna let Adam move on to the listener questions, and then after that, all I've got is some thank you wrap up stuff. I know we're pretty deep into this one, but let's get through these listener questions because to me that's always one of the most exciting parts of a Tom Talk.
Sure. Yeah, we're definitely crunching it on time here, so we'll try to answer these quickly for y'all. Start off with a light one from Bipolar Pop Tart. In what ways did you all envision killing me for all the stress I put you through?
I'll start with my fists. That's my answer.
Pulling out your eyeball.
It involved a glass of wine with a slight sleeping agent and a sharp knife. So,
Oh,
there
God.
we go.
Okay.
Oh, God.
John? Well, no, I'm going to save John for last. Josh?
just bearing down on your throat with my wrench. Just, you know,
Oh, my God.
one hand on each side of the wrench, just pressing down on your throat.
All right, Zach?
Man, I'm
I
not
have
trying
great
to kill
dreams.
you, man. Come on, dude.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that, Zach.
Suck up.
All right. John?
Eye gouging and pot shots to you while
Yeah,
you just lay there.
I expect that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Overplus asks, Book 2 had some great emotions. As a player, now with looking back, did you enjoy the high of all the nat 20s from episode 32? I think it was 31, forgetting the exact number.
Yes.
Or the roller coaster emotions from the experience with the Warden?
So, I did go back and count. There were 8 natural 20s in that one episode.
That's insane.
So which did you like more? Having like all those like just crushing or the back and forth emotions? Like, and he's asking from hindsight.
I think that the episode of the natural 20 was much needed because of the context of where we were. That wouldn't be as special if we were already doing well, but because we were in a particularly stressful situation, it mattered a lot as far as keeping all of us from quitting this podcast.
Yeah. I think pretty much everybody feels
Pretty
that
much,
way.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We needed a win.
All right, let's see. Bear Claire asks, and I think we touched on this a little bit, so I'm going to direct this directly. Well, I'm going to exclude Emily because we already know what Emily's answer is going to be. Who boiled y'all's blood more, the Lieutenant Sharu or Warden Aliestra? Zach, start with you.
Sharu, yeah, for sure.
Sharu.
Yeah. Yeah, she
All
wasn't
right,
that bad.
John, what about you?
Warden.
Okay. Josh?
Yeah, the Warden for sure.
And Emily, you would say Warden, right?
AKA that thought.
All right. And Mike?
Adam
Heath.
Kelly.
Okay. All right. Necessary Evil asks a question that's, I think it's interesting. How, now that we have 2 books behind us, are any of you regretting the class you've chosen to play? Start
No.
with Emily. Okay, we'll start with Zach. No. Emily.
Emily, no. I'm enjoying it more and more as we go along.
What about you, John?
Earlier on, I was thinking like maybe I should have gone operative, but now I've actually like I'm starting to really feel the technomancer, so I like it. Yeah, I don't regret it.
Good. Josh?
Yeah, not at all. Like, I'm genuinely enjoying playing an exocortex mechanic.
All right. And Heath?
I may regret saying this later, but I don't think there's an adventure or a scenario you could throw at me where I would possibly say yes.
To regretting playing a soldier?
To regretting playing an armor storm soldier.
To regretting playing a titanium Mike.
Yeah,
Punchy
Titanium
boy.
Mike is the best all the time in every adventure ever.
I mean, Signal screams though, bro. I'm just saying.
And I'm still gonna fucking kill it.
We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna kill it.
You can't punch your way through some of this stuff in Signal screen.
you can't.
Try
man.
to be
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Try-
Try me.
If anybody
All right.
can, it's me.
I punched the screen.
Next question.
Last question from listeners. And this is from Commodore. Here's a general one. With 2 AP books under your belts now, what are your favorite aspects of Starfinder, and what are some house rules you might want to add?
Can I go first again?
Sure.
The 3-action system from Pathfinder 2E. I just want it. I just think it's the best. I still think you should have like swift actions and reactions and stuff like that, but I think a 3-action system in Starfinder would be just right.
What are your favorite aspects of the system?
A little more granularity than 5E, a little more customization of character via feats than 5E. I guess that the same thing is in Pathfinder, but I played Starfinder first.
All right, Josh, we'll move to you next.
So, favorite aspects of Starfinder, I love starship combat. You know, just as a whole, having the entire group, instead of controlling themselves individually, everyone working together to control a single ship is freaking awesome to me. I mean, vehicular combat is just so cool in general. House rules, if it would work in real life, it works in the game.
Of course. Of course.
I mean, I know.
I'll let you have that one. That's a good answer. All right. Heath.
Yeah, so I, for one, agree with Josh. I love Starship Combat. I know it's a region of the game that a lot of people don't like. I think it's amazing, and it's a good team-building exercise. As far as home, like, rules, I would change the +8 against, like, combat maneuvers to a +4. I think it's too much. I think +8 is unreasonable, especially at lower levels. I'm not joking.
I feel you on that.
I'm not joking at all.
Agree.
No, I'm with you
Agree.
100%. Yeah.
I'm laughing at John because it looks like that's what he wants.
That's exactly what I was gonna fucking say. God damn it.
I'm right there with you.
All right. Well, John, what are your thoughts? What are some of your favorite aspects?
Okay, so my top thing would be that I do love the crafting, the technological items, the mods, the augmentations, etc. I think they're all the bee's knees. That really adds an extra amount of it just makes your character extra, you know, and it's really fucking cool. I like that. As far as what I would change, the combat maneuvers. That one really sticks to me. As far as any kind of home rules, can't really think anything of that, but yeah, that's mine, you know.
All right. Emily?
I think it's kind of already been said, but the customization options and the ever-growing races. I love that there are so many, and then the legacy races, and then all the new ones that are coming out, and the archives and stuff. I just get really excited.
Hell yeah.
I like that a lot. And as far as house rule, I wish that you could split movement. That's something I miss from like 5e.
Yeah.
Yeah, splitting movement would be fantastic.
That really would be. Also the 3-action, what Zach said. That would be pretty fucking cool.
For me, one of my favorite aspects about Starfinder is just the kinds of stories that you can tell in it. I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but I mean, I'm the GM, right? So like, I love the type of situations that you can do that are a little bit different than a lot of the standard fantasy-based ones. I like that there are a whole system for computers, and I like that there's a whole system for, as you said, the starships and everything like that. It just feels like mechanically a lot bigger, and then like, you know, you can tell any story you want because the galaxy is literally the ends of your imagination. So house rules, I mean, I already added the one that I would like. I really love giving inspirations. I feel like it's a nice thing to keep morale high at the table, and they obviously come in useful, and they are meant specifically for those types of situations that we saw where John saved because of an inspiration against a coup de grace, you know.
Yep.
Like, that's why they're there, you know. So that's it for me on the listener questions.
That said, that's about it for the episode. I've got obviously a ton of thank yous that I have to get out. And I'm going to start with Roll20. Thank you for sponsoring us, providing the tools we use to play this amazing game. Speaking of the game, I extend a huge thank you to Paizo for creating the Starfinder game system and Against the Aeon Throne adventure path. Thank you to Ron Lundeen for writing Book 1, and a double thank you to Eleanor Farron for both writing Book 2 and gracing us with her presence on our first episode of Southern Tomfoolery Unscripted, or STFU for short. Thank you again to Valhaven Studios for our beautiful dice bags. Every one of us have now received our bags, and can't say enough about how beautifully crafted they are. Thanks to our friends in other podcasts that have inspired or supported us, including the Glass Cannon Podcast, the Adventure Zone, Hideous Laughter Podcast, Cosmic Crit, as well as the patron saint of TTRPG podcasts, Jason at What Do You Do Pods. I could never get through a single episode without mentioning Jason. And of course, thank you to all of the listeners for your support and engagement, especially those of you who have supported us on Patreon. I'm still amazed that so many of you have been so gracious with your hard-earned cheddar. And that's the TOMTalks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Congratulations to everyone for surviving Book 2 of Against the Aeon Throne.
We did the thing.
Try harder next time, Adam.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Fair.
Oh, but he will. You know he will. He didn't kill
He's
anyone
trying.
for the first 2 books. Somebody's going to die next book. They might